this. Y'all come over here. So have
Am I the sixth?
We were told to say Hannah, you see what I'm saying?
You want to stream?
Huh?
Are we streaming from here on that?
Have you been streaming?
Nope.
Okay, no.
But the previous notes we power that one up and see if it'll let you play. If not, I got more batteries.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Down there. If y'all would introduce yourself and just do some high level family stuff. Who are y'all? It's not going to come across like the mic's on. It's just so they can hear it clearly.
Keith and Linda Goebel from Lee Summit, Missouri. We have one daughter. She's 16 right now. Yeah, getting ready, thinking about college and stuff. So we're from.
Hey, why don't y'all switch with them? Y'all come over here while y'all talking, and we'll. I'm not sure how it's coming across in that video. All right. 16-year-old.
Yeah, 16-year-old, thinking about college, excited. She's focused on her education right now, so it's a good thing. So we're excited to be here, having a good time with Adam and Beth and you, Andy. So
You talk to us about business then.
yes, exactly.
I think he should tell you we've been married almost 30 years.
How many?
Almost 30 this year.
Almost 30.
This year, if we make it. 4 months, I think we got a shot. Business-wise, so Kansas City, if that helps people know where Lee Summit is. So we're a suburb of Kansas City. Been with the Alliance for 8 years. Yeah, direct to Adam and Beth. Grateful for that, and love them, and just have been doing life together, enjoying it. It's good. Team's doing well. We hit AM this month.
Woo!
Have a habit of doing that every other month, so we feel like this is official. We'll hit it next month too, so we'll make it.
That's what we need.
Officially qualify. Just so appreciate the Alliance for and you all for just the opportunity to grow inside of it. You know, to like do. We were talking this weekend when we first started. Keith traveled for the first 5 years, so he is not licensed, and he in the last 2 years has really just kind of started coming around more than the trips.
Yeah.
So
Those trips are.
yeah.
Those trips will get them.
He'll do the trips. He'll do the trips, but now he's finally started to. I mean, we've just started to kind of plug in more and do more as a team. But he has a full-time job, a career in something computer-ish. Well, I mean, I know what it is, but how much do you want us to help? So he does network engineering for computer stuff. So, right? And so, but what I wanted to say was, the last couple of years and probably really the last, because the first 5 years we did this, he traveled 50% of the time. I mean, we were looking at his itinerary. I mean, he was gone. So that was me with my daughter, and I appreciate the Alliance because we could have made it what we needed it to be at the time. And so thank you for keeping us around. And here we go.
So, like one of the things that I really want to work hard on with the people that are trying to double and triple their business is storytelling.
Okay.
And because you put a stopwatch, and everything you say has a value, and what you could have said has a value. Is there something you should have said or could have said that would have been 10x what you did say? Does that make sense? Because your time is so valuable. When you pick up the mic, or when a person gets on the phone, what do you say? What you say matters, and what you don't say matters. So like, whenever anybody talks, I'm always, and it's funny because we know some people fire us up, but we don't know why. You know what that reminds me of? Those Malcolm Gladwell books, you know. They fire me up, but I don't know why, and then he tells you why. Well, I'm going to tell you why. People people, you grab people with stories. You need to work on your story. Did anybody do your 17? Did you get the list of 17 most emotional? But you hadn't done it recently. Okay. All right. Did anybody do that before you came down? I know that she emailed it out. Okay. All right. So maybe we'll take a look at a couple of those. But you have that 17 most emotional. And if what you just said ain't on that list, it's not emotional. Yep. Does that make sense? It might be emotional to you, but then again, it's not more emotional than the other stuff. Does that make sense? Like when I bring you up, here's what I'm thinking. God, tell the story about how you were making millions and kept no money, and how you finally here and you're netting money, and you bought a new car, and you redid your kitchen. And does that make sense? Because I'm glad you've been with us 8 years.
Yeah, that's good.
But that part would mess me up. And them,
Yep.
because they're thinking, okay, so they're not gazillionaires, and they've been here 8 years. But you are gazillionaires compared
to where we were.
Right. You see what I'm saying? But you gotta picture it, and you gotta tell it. So at high level, think about, just think through.
I want a do-over.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Yeah. And see, here's the other thing is, this is really weird, and I'm kind of going on a limb. But you think some of them know the story? You have no idea how few have no idea what I'm talking about. Like none. Everybody needs to know the story. My favorite example of that is in Thunderdome, when those kids are sitting around and they're like, we got to tell the story over and over again, how we destroyed the earth so we don't do it again. We got to tell the story. And so the more and more we can tell the story of how, as a kid, I was laughing about the belly button thing, but like I was a kid selling goats, and everybody knows the story. And I guarantee you some of the people are going like, he's told that before. I'm like, 90% of the people in here ain't heard it. And that's who I'm talking to, is the 90% of the people that ain't heard it. And Abian made a statement yesterday I thought was really cool. It was like, I used to be really or was it you just said that? I used to tell stories all the time? Or somebody else said that? Riddle. I used to tell stories all the time, and then I quit doing it, and then I started doing it again. Like this is the only thing that sells is stories. Nothing else sells. This defined benefit ain't going to sell.
You're right about that.
It ain't going to sell. Now, if somebody ain't defined, we're going like, yeah, I had this cousin. He had that. He was surprised at what he got because it's actuarially defined. I'd rather have defined one. I don't know, my cousin, he was all upset. Matter of fact, he had to get a smaller casket. It didn't even fit, Yeah, people get that defined benefit. It's just you got to tell a story that ties to it, because it just. And if you explain two of them at the same time, you are an idiot. Just beat down this one and build up this one is all you do. It's just a story. And people say, how do I get people moving? Like this. This is what you do, is you talk to them and you tell them a story about where I was and where I am and how I changed and what changed my life. So I'm giving you time to think about your deal. So if you were just like, hey, well, I'm not sure if y'all have ever heard, but what happened was, go.
What happened was, I can't do it like you. That's good. So we years ago, I have to remember the story. I think that's part of what I do, is I think that it's been so long ago, but we
make it sound like it was 2 weeks ago, or not 8 years ago, and not 14 years ago. Like it was, dude. I'm 57, and I talk about having goats like I've got one today, or something. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it sounds like yesterday, and it almost makes you younger, because it's like that happened right then. So it's just it's that childlike faith. It's act like a kid. It's being young. It's just acting not just like it's right there. All right.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
So we got out of college and got into business, into the corporate world. And in the corporate world, we did what people do, which is head down and work your job, try to get your raise. And we just kind of looked around and thought, is this all that it is? So we went back to college. I did. Went back and got my master's degree in business. And then I'm like, okay, this isn't it, because it still wasn't it, right? And so now working and making money, but just kind of looking around like they owned us, like the job owned us.
So you went back and got your master's degree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see now, oh, she got a master's degree, but you're not going like, I have a master's degree. You say, yeah, there's more to it, and that's when I went back and got my master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
You with me? In master's degree in?
MBA with an emphasis in finance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? You thought I was just a girl.
And I have I have a chemistry undergrad. I told that to Will Coatney, and he lost it. He's like, you have
Every
a chemistry
time,
degree.
everybody needs to know undergraduate in chemistry and a master's in MBA and with a finance emphasis.
Yeah.
Right? Like it gives me cold chills. Like, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Now, you're a brand new person who just got their degree in basket weaving from NC State and is cocky about it, right? Or he got his little, I don't know, these little degrees they get these days, and they're like, I just got I'm working toward I'm working toward getting my undergraduate. Yeah, I got mine in chemistries. What are you studying? And then I went on and got my master's. You thinking about getting your master's also? So anyway, then tell the story.
That's good. That's good.
Like
Okay.
how stupid that would be.
Yeah.
But don't say it's just stupid. Just tell how you figured it out.
Yeah.
How
So-
you felt found.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. So we thought, well, we'll do a business, so we have always. We were in Amway back when y'all started. So we got out though and got into.
Y'all are smarter.
Yeah. Well. I think we would have stayed. But we started to do businesses, and we just did whatever we could get creative about. So we did, we built a software package for, and another guy, we built a software package for case cost analysis for ambulatory surgery centers, because that's the market y'all should get into. What were we thinking? What were we thinking? We were just trying to do something. So we did these where they would analyze cases, and we pitched it and we marketed it and we launched the product, and then it fell flat. And we did that, just pick a topic, and we did that about 6 different times, like different things. We had an explosion protection vent company, because that's what I used to do for a minute. And then like we did all of that, and we never had a building, and so once we would take it to market, we would just kind of let it go, wah, 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 and so that was years of doing that. And finally we thought, you know what we need? We need a building, we need overhead, and we need a bank loan, because then we're going to go places. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that MBA in finance working for us. And
That's
so
good.
So we thought, well, we'll do a coffee shop, because there was we love coffee, and we could do that.
Oh,
and
you
so,
getting them now.
Yeah, so we
Getting
put
them now. A coffee
is this
shop.
better than
Who don't want a coffee shop?
Yeah, come join us. And
Always want a coffee shop.
Absolutely. So yeah, because they're easy, and lucrative. Oh my goodness, wow!
You're getting beans and selling it as coffee.
Yeah, for like 10 cents on the cup. You know how many 10-cent cups you have to sell? I mean, like that's the profit margin in a coffee cup. Yeah, right. What were we thinking? So we did that, and then we thought, well, and so in 6 months into it, we went downtown Kansas City, and we opened up a wine bar, because that's a good
let me ask
segue.
this. When people looking at you, did they see Mr. and Ms. Business Owner? Did you feel good about yourself? Like we were in these businesses, and people were like so impressed.
Yes.
You see how that's, you're just hammering people. Mm-hmm. When you say, and people will be so impressed with us. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to take who gives a crap what people think about you?
Yep.
We're printing money.
Yeah.
But you can't say that. What you got to say is how people looked at y'all, and we were so sophisticated, and we never wore jeans, and we wore dress shoes, and and high heels, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the more you can talk about how people looked at you, and you smelled good, and
We've been talking about that this weekend.
Yeah,
we were the deal, because we opened a wine bar.
deal.
We were
the wine.
we were on
baby.
magazines and airplanes. Remember that? We were like
Top 20 most influential women in Kansas City.
That's great. That's
that
great.
makes me laugh. That's ridiculous. It's silly. But so Keith, the whole time Keith kept his full-time job too. So we we
Nothing new. Hey, let's get a video of this.
yeah.
Here you go. There's back up. That one won't go through. What's that? Our meat is being delivered. To the Bison Burgers. Bison Burgers for everybody. We don't know yet. They're unloading it. We'll see pictures in a minute. Okay, wine bar. Let's hear about that. That sounds cool.
So then from our coffee
How many
shop,
bottles of wine y'all have?
we had in our inventory in one of the buildings or one of the restaurants was 60. I think our high was 68,000 in inventory. Just inventory, like that just had to stay in the bill in the wine cellar.
1,000 bottles of wine.
No, dollars.
Dollars, 68,000.
Yeah. Just sitting there.
Any number of bottles?
Oh, I have no idea.
We'll make it up.
Couple thousand.
We ought to write that
thousand.
down and say it. At one time, we had 2,232 bottles. Remember that? 2,232 bottles
good, yeah.
worth of wine. You do the math. Take your 68,000 and do the math. It's going to come out right there. And it's facts build credibility, and people will walk away going like, "Did how many bottles of wine did you say they had?" Huh? Oh, owned by the bank.
Oh, owned by the bank. Yeah, 1.2 million in debt. By the time it was all done, we had opened 3 restaurants. We had a distribution center because we thought, well, we have all these buildings, we will service us and then other people. So we put in a coffee shop distribution that went all over the U.S. We had shipping, and so we had the warehouse. And then we thought, well, we could do some stuff in the back. We had room, so we did a third-party logistics. Because I had done that for a minute, so we thought, well, we can do that too. And that's when Keith stepped out of his job, and now we have 5 businesses going. We had 150 employees. 1.2 million was our max in debt. We had cashed out this is a good number. We had $600,000 in our 401k. We may want to delete this. This is the dumb part of the story, and we cashed it out. We cashed it out to say that.
That's great.
Because when it was.
How did you get that much, and then you cashed it out? I mean, this is great.
Yeah, so then we put all that in the restaurants, and then 2008 and 2009 came and just wiped us out. Oh, well, funny you should ask. Our lender was very good about interest-only debt. Right, right. So he was more, very much more, like, you can do more, you guys. We believe in you. You got this. Yeah. For the record, he does not work at that bank anymore. He done lost that job. So, but we, So then when it all tumbled in 2008, 9, and 10 was just in chaos and crazy, and we laugh about it now, but it was our reality, and it was painful. I mean, we lost our home, we lost everything we had built to that point.
So Phil felt found.
Yes.
You with me? So now how do you transition? So, but thank God. You with me?
Okay. Yep.
Does that make sense? So you got to end. You got to stop talking about it.
Yep.
You can't keep talking about it, and you can't just say, "And there you go."
And here we are.
And here we are. What happened, and then.
Yeah, and what happened, thank God, for real. I was talking with a girlfriend in 2000 I went back to consulting. And
Wait, watch this.
Went back to work.
How much can y'all relate to this story? Identical. Terry and Tia? You know, this is the kind of people we're going to get with these stories. Like, they're just like, you're just inside. It's making them do more. Is that? Oh.
That's good.
It's like over. And dude, like this girl Kim, when she calls me, it's the same damn story. Yeah, what happened was I used to sell goats and pine needles, and it's like the same. It's like I planted, I don't know if I saw planted, I dug up about 10 pine trees, planted pine trees, and was watering stuff and walking around telling these stories. Because I've told the story, I can do it in my sleep. I do it in my sleep. Jane will tell you. I just be like, blah, 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 blah. Because it's so, And then I've added facts that I'm not sure if they're real facts, but I'm convinced they happened. You know what I mean? That makes facts and figures and stuff. So what happened was this girl introduced you, a friend of yours.
So I was talking to her in a parking lot at Target, and she was going to get started in this insurance thing, and she had a meeting scheduled for the next night with a friend of hers, and the big guy was coming into town, and he was going to talk about it. And I'm like, man, that just sounds sketchy.
Yeah.
I was a little worried for her. I mean, and as the successful business owner that I was, I thought, because she was a stay-at-home mom that was coming back into the workforce. I'm like, God, let me check that out. That just sounds sketchy.
Yeah.
No offense,
Yeah.
but that's kind of where I thought you were. And so she said, I'm like, what is it? And she gave me the name of the company, and she had it wrong, and she had your name though. And so I Googled it all, and I said I would look into it before she does it. And so I spent 4 hours on the internet. I remember that. That's a detail. That was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, that's 4 hours Googling. And so, but I called her up and I said, when is that meeting? Because I'm going to do that thing. And that was my deal. And because what I saw was who you hung out with, and I saw who you associated with. And from being in Amway, I had known the Goad family when they were the Goad family, the Goads. And then so I saw you had Tim and then Cleve McClary, and I thought, man, there's something here. And then I saw you had a little calculator at the time how you can make money, and I thought I can get back to where we were from here. And yeah, thank you. So we owe it to you. But so anyway, so then we went to the meeting, and that was it. I was in, and then what I started this conversation with. Then I spent 5 years kind of messing around with it, but excited about it and love the culture. And so and I feel like now. Today, we are. Well, I don't want to say anything. What should I say next, Andy? What is
So when you were piddling around with it, were you making a net profit? Were you making more profit than when you owed $1.2 million? Was it less stress? Tell me the good points of those 5 years.
Okay.
So for the next 5 years.
So for the next 5 years, I got to do something I absolutely loved and enjoyed, and the freedom in it.
Awesome.
And then sincerely, we made money, and we went on the trips. We go, and so we had the freedom to let it be what I needed it to be.
And we fell in love with the people.
And we fell in love with the people.
Fell in love with the people 100%. Traveling around. 100%. And could you even say, and we started to get kind of ambitious again, like as in not just, start dreaming again. Oh, and we started dreaming again. Yeah, because why would we ever have done all that if we didn't have, I mean, we had grand plans before with the restaurants. I mean, we were going to go make money and do something with our life. See, that's what that gets right there. Is to get people just go crazy, man. Like, God. Because then everybody's like, man, I'd like to dream again. You know, or James and Pam are going like, yeah, that's right. We got to remember. They're like, we got to remember. We got to remember to tell the story. You know, we got to remember. It's like people ask me, like, how do you stay so? I go, I remember to tell the story, of course. That's how I do it. I tell myself the story again, and I tell Adam the story again, and I tell Chris the story again. I mean, dude, that's all I just hammered on you when we sat down at breakfast. I was like, dude, you know, the story. Dum-dums can do this. Anybody could do this. We could get a bunch of dum-dums and get millions. And we know dum-dums that were doing it. We met that guy with the braces that was slobbering and the dude with his hat on 3/4 backwards. Remember that? We were like, what's their names? I know the guy from Danville, Virginia, that was Hudge's guy, the big heavyset dude.
Ben Quintana.
Yeah, we met Ben Quintana. You know. God, and Charlie Gigante. Damn, a toupee and a 6'5" white dude with a toupee and a carat diamond in each ear. And he was our leader. Right? And a 4-foot tall wife who was lit. I'm talking toasted. And that was our leader. That was our upline's upline. And Beth was like, please tell me. It's like, Beth, we're not going to be them.
We sent our apps in there for like 2 weeks, and then you're going to send it over here now.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, so you got them with it. So we started dreaming again. And we started dreaming again. We started making money. And now we're agency managers, looking to go partner, dreaming again. You know, Keith's more involved. We're more locked in than ever. That so many things have improved now than what you used to have. We got Medicare. We got the investment. And so we're about to jump out of our skin. Give it a shot. So what happened after this lady gets me an insurance, just start it again.
So after we get started and we make that decision, then we knew we had found something. We knew we had found the opportunity. And when you look at it on paper and when you start living it out, it is everything that we were looking for. And we did start dreaming again. And the part that we didn't share was our marriage was not bad, but we looked at each other when everything tumbled and we're like, do you want to even continue this? You know, and that was a deal. And then so here, no stress. Literally, it's just the most. There's no overhead, and there's no bank loans, and there's no. You know, how are we gonna pay for the house? Oh, we can't pay for our house, right? We're gonna have to let our house go. So all of that was gone, and then we just fell back in place with who we are as a couple, and so grateful for that. And then we made money. We make money. I do well. You know, when we were talking last night, right? It's a pretty good gig, right? It's when this is what we do for a living, and we have fun, and then this part.
How much?
Like $14,000.
Nice week.
Woohoo! Good week. Yeah.
You could say that. And we made $14,000 deposited this week.
Yeah. It's been a good month for sure. So.
And then we went agency manager.
Oh, and now we were agency managers, and we're gonna firm that up here finally. But it's just been a good.
Write this out. You write this out. Like just it's worth it. It's something you'll use over and over again. And yours out and Angela and Terry. This is it. We get everybody telling these stories. Remember that Samway? All they did, we thought this guy was the greatest accountant ever in the history of time. What was his name? The big accountant guy, and then this guy's a presidential advisor, and you know what I mean. And now me and Jane got invited to Mar-a-Lago for dinner, and Doug Weed is the grand host, and so the guy finds out how I admire him because of the stories. Because I always thought he's the greatest advisor to presidents. He's going to be sitting at my table. I was like, all right, I'll be there. You know what I mean? 20-some years ago, that he's still ingrained in my mind. That's what we need. We need everybody in the organization. Yeah, Adam's got that couple that was $1.2 million in debt, and they had all these businesses and that wine bar, and that's like what we need to see over and over again. Does that make sense? And by the way, it looks like you got in 5 years ago or 4 years ago. So people will think it was a year ago. They'll be like, in a year they turned their whole life around, and then they'll turn theirs around in a year because they think you did it. They think you ran the 4-minute mile, so they're like, all right, if he ran, I can do it. You know.
Got it.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. So you got to get them and then take them somewhere. It's what people don't get them. They start telling them where they could be, but you never went and got them. Like I had to go to your hotel, pick you up, and take you to Middle Ground. But if you don't go pick them up, we just go to Middle Ground and tell them where it is and everything, as opposed to going and get them. and you go get them. You scoop them up with the stories, and then you take them with you. It's like they jump in a car with you, and they're going the same direction you're going. That makes sense? And you got to do it over and over. It's like doggies, you know. It's like we got to go get them, and just Casper. You know, Casper can't hear or see, but he can smell. You just put your hand down there and tap him a few times, just kind of start moving. He follows the scent. But it was crazy, James. He's like, yes, last night when I took him up there, he was walking around looking for the water. And, I mean, he pretty much knew where it was. He got to it. I was like, that is impressive right there. He got to figure out what floor he was on and then where the direction of the water, because water ain't got no scent. But, you know what I mean? It's just we just go get them and take it. And we're doing it for – that's the other thing is people see what I'm doing it to other people. I'm doing it to myself. I'm doing it to myself all the time. And if everybody knows your story, then we can talk about you to our people. We'll have somebody that relates to every single person. Y'all are in technology, technology, coffee, and wine, and y'all are in furniture. What other business did y'all do? Hobby shop, furniture. So Danny Johnson and Lori started a daggum hobby shop thing. I was like, Danny, this is not a good idea. Not a good idea. I forget what his set him back. 60 to 80 in that neighborhood. Just gone.
It was a lot of fun, though.
Oh, yeah. You cannot argue with the fun of hobbies. That's the difference between hobbies and businesses, right?
Just telling it, like, I'm kind of excited.
Right.
Again. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got this. We can, yeah, like, it worked on me. Did it help you? Are we good? Yeah, so.
It does. Yeah. That's why when I say, that's why if I could get you recruiting, telling the story, it keeps you locked in and positive and growing. The minute you start evaluating products, profitability, how come you ain't done better in 5 years or 10 years or 8 years, the minute you start doing that as opposed to telling your story, then it stagnates you. It just pounds you. You with me? It's like you're drinking poison.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
It's awesome. It's good. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
How many versions of your story should you have?
100. 100. Yeah, 100. I'm always going to shape it to the audience. That's why I go like, so what kind of work did you do? I'm trying to get a feel for the audience, and then I am going to shape my story to fit these people and the ones I want to get. You know, you find out he's got a master's degree, Air Force, military people. You're just looking around, and here's what you got to remember is you can have a person who didn't graduate high school, and you could talk to this about I got a master's degree, and this guy about how you grew up farming on the country and, you know, and eating pinto beans, and this guy's going to hear what he wants to hear, and he's going to hear what he's going to hear. But if you leave out that part, he ain't going to hear it because you didn't say it. So you got to cover it for every person. You've heard me say our events are exciting for those of you that want to have a party. We're going to party. And for those of you looking to get away and just have some time with your wife and get away, it'll be time for that too.
That's good. Makes sense.
Everything to everybody. And then you know, and there are people that advise you don't try to be everything everybody like. You know you make a lot of money doing that, right? But then people say, but you got to be yourself. Like, be yourself, but let's do that tomorrow or tonight. Like, night now, we're recruiting. It's like a date, right? We're on a date. Act right. They can find out about that stuff later. Say it again. What's the name of that song? Is that more Pitbull?
Not play that song. Not right now. Yeah, we'll do that later. That's how we do that. Later.
Glad y'all are on a team.
Good story.
You, ladies and gentlemen, have the advantage. Give them what they come for.
Hi. I'm Tiffany.
You need to keep it right here. Like practice keeping it right there. I know it's weird, but it works.
Is it on?
It is on. It's coming in loud and clear.
Okay.
It's going in for the streaming,
Oh,
so they
okay.
can hear it clear,
Okay.
as opposed to
So
for
it's not
these
just
folks.
for looks
It's
or
not
anything.
right. It's not just for looks, and it's not for these people either.
So I'm Tiffany Bibler, direct to Keith and Linda Goebel, and on the Cats team. I came. Let's see. I've been in the Alliance since April of 2019. So it's been almost 2 years. Has it been 3?
Okay. Listen to me.
I'm sorry.
All right. So start
I'm gonna-
with where we want to start, because if you start with 2 years, where we're going to go now? Nowhere. So start in the beginning, like so. I was
Okay.
a nurse. I was here, and I was like that story. Just like that's what I was saying. You had advantage. Copy her. Where were you? And so first of all, push him over there. Say push him. Say first of all, he wasn't in the picture.
Nope.
I was.
Nope.
I was.
Okay.
Struggling, fighting, scratching, depressed, mad, ill, broke. Where were you?
All of those. All of the above.
You tell them.
All right. So I spent my entire life in the hospitality industry.
Boom.
Yep.
A little more specific,
Restaurant
yeah.
management. Went to school for hospitality management. Where did you go to school? Name of school? I went to the culinary program at Johnson County Community College, which is one of the top community college culinary programs in the nation. And got pregnant in the middle of the program and had a wonderful child. And his name is Jake. He is, yes. So my Jake is, he is 17 now. And nope, he was just born.
Where you are and walk through the story. When you go over there and then you come back over here, it's confusing as hell.
Okay.
He was just born in 1917. So let's talk about where
All right.
you were. Does that make sense? Just the story is killer.
Okay. So single mom.
And if you're trying not to cry, then you're messing up. You should cry. That's better.
Well, I don't know if we'll have a problem with that. That's probably why I don't start back here, right?
That's why people skip it.
Yep.
Because they don't want to be emotional. Like, you know that's the part where they get emotional too.
You know I don't have waterproof makeup on. Okay, so yeah, so got out of the program my whole life. That's all I did was work. Dad was murdered when I was a kid, and so it was me, mom, and grandma and grandpa, and then lost my grandparents when I was young, and so my whole life was just dedicated to work. In hospitality, I was a corporate trainer for Applebee's, and I also was
You say that every time. I was a corporate trainer for Applebee's.
corporate trainer for Applebee's, and I
understand. I've been at Applebee's before.
and I concurrently was working at Chili's and was in management training there at the same time. So when I got pregnant and had Jake, his father gave me an ultimatum, said I needed to switch careers because I was gone too much. So I went to school for hair and loved it. Spent a lot of time in there, went to a salon and worked, and then I found out I had to have surgery for carpal and cubital tunnel on my wrists and was kind of lost for a while.
Is that due to haircutting all the time?
And waiting tables, banquets, stuff like that in the hospitality industry, and just working at Chili's, carrying those big old heavy trays, right?
Do this right there, hold your hair up there. I would be like that, from holding trays up like that. 'Cause
Okay.
then you got that tattoo showing. You with me? And you doing that right there. I'm just telling y'all. It would be like Cardi B or one of these other dancers come out there and not moving, who would watch them then?
Okay.
You with me?
Okay.
Just that right there. Boom.
Okay. So
If I was at lunch with a person, I'd be like, my arm is killing me. I had to have surgery. And especially if you're talking to a waitress. You with me? You're
Yep.
recruiting a waitress. And
okay. So I left the hair industry and went back. I left the salon and went back to Chili's. Went back to Chili's and got pregnant with my second son. And from that point on, my whole life was devoted to my children. And I never pursued anything fully until my children were a little older and I met a gentleman that I worked part-time for some extra money who was in the insurance industry. I was his assistant and I fell in love with the industry and the opportunity and saw what it could bring. And I was a single mom with 2 kids and we were below the poverty level, so we never had much of anything. And so when I met this gentleman, he offered me an opportunity to get my license and become a co-owner of the business. My responsibility was the workload. He was going to fund the opportunity. So wound up 2 years in the business with him. We opened a call center. We had 48 agents across the United States. We worked with
what you're going to do, I know the story. You're going to compress this part.
Okay.
Because it is just, I mean, I could fast forward and he lied.
Yeah. He embezzled. He embezzled all of the money from the company. He paid none of our agents.
So what am I going to do?
Yep.
You let me just get through that part.
Okay.
You know, we don't want to, like,
Okay.
we're more interested in the 2 pregnancies than we are those 2 years.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like it's just, I got it. This guy screwed you. You know what I mean? You got like, he made all these promises, nothing in writing, single mom, dumb and dirt, didn't know, believed him, got him wrong with the wrong people. I'd rather be in the business with the right people than the wrong people. You
Okay.
Just hammer that part and then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So when I worked for him, I was in the same building as Linda and Keith. I met Linda throughout that process, and we became really good friends. We talked Jesus all the time and hung out. I worked long hours and saw her there. And once the company tanked, I was kind of on the floor. And she reached out to me. I lost my house. I lost my car. Linda called me. It was like right after Thanksgiving, I think. And she said, hey, she had been trying to recruit me the entire time. So she's like, you'd be perfect for this. This is the best opportunity. And we were trying to build kind of what the alliance was, right? We had our own software. I mean, it was just incredible when I finally accepted the opportunity. Met Andy when he came to Kansas City and fell in love with everything. Started hard, but never really went all in because I was just pretty broken still from what had happened. And really at the beginning of this year, really decided that I'm done sitting around. And this, oh my gosh, if I would have found this when I had my first child in high school, like right after high school, this would have been the perfect opportunity to raise a family and be in a business that allows you the flexibility and the freedom and the opportunity to earn what you're worth, right? You put in, you get out what you put in. And so with the right people, yes.
And with the right people, because that's the whole deal. You had a good deal. You just had a quote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, and with the right people. We've got to keep hearing that over and over.
It really is. It really is. And we get to help people every day. It is such a cool business.
So then I met this guy.
Oh, yes. I met my
The one I pushed aside.
Yep. I met my wonderful husband, and Brandon actually, he was married for 26 years to an amazing woman. They had 6 children. No?
Don't care about him.
Okay, sorry.
You met this wonderful
I met this wonderful man who has
now.
just recently.
Taking it here because you just started over that story.
Oh yeah.
We got to here. Now we're going
Okay.
back. Unless you wanted to tell the same stories parallel, which I wouldn't. I
Okay.
would do you because you're the one that got in and got started. Then we met this guy.
This guy.
Who had lost his family or lost his
Yep.
wife, and here then take it from there and move on.
Okay.
You with me?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So 2 daughters, wife died in a car accident, and a family friend. And so I met him after that happened, and it was history since I met him. So he bought into the business. He got his license, and part-time, he's working part-time. We're running together, working on a forever dream. We are working to have the money to fund memories for our family. And that is, it's such a cool. I never thought I would find something like this. And my kids are all, my son is 17 now, and he's about to leave. He's expressed interest in the business, and we've got 6 boys between us, and vary of ages. My youngest is 12, and I'm just so excited to give them a life that I never had, So, and build dreams, and yeah, and some of the most amazing people. Linda is like my best friend, and Adam and Beth. Oh my gosh, you guys, this it'll wreck you, having such amazing people in your life. But I'm sorry, you guys. This is why I shouldn't be up here right now. But, and how cool, I've had the opportunity to come on this awesome adventure with Adam and Beth now, and now I got to meet Steve and Andrea, and you guys, we are all running after the same thing. We all just have our own story, but this is the coolest, most amazing opportunity with the most amazing people, and I just cannot wait. We are all just getting started, right?
Right.
Every single one of us.
That's the message. Okay.
It's so cool. Anyway.
See, so when some people tell a story, they start thinking that everybody wants to know about you. What they want to do is be inspired. Right. And your story inspires. Does that make sense? Like, don't start thinking, and they want to know what my 17-year-old likes as far as putting puzzles together. They don't care about that part. They want to go, here's where everybody is tuned into the same radio station. WII something.
What?
WIFM. What's in it for me? That's all they want to know is what's in it for me. But when you go get them with your story, they see themselves in their story. They see the parts of the story that's them. And then get to the part where we go and we're all just getting started. That makes sense. And don't get weary in well-doing, and don't get bored in telling your story over and over again. People freak out on it. And to remind people that know you the story. What do you think about lead costs? I tell you what, when I was selling them goats, stockyard,
I didn't have any leads.
yeah, I was thinking, God, if I could find some kind of network marketing program that was legit, but everyone I got in kept getting shut down. That's your soapbox. When you engage, that's what Dave was saying, when you engage with them in a debate or a discussion, you've lost. Yeah. But when you start your story over, they just like, what are you gonna do? What are they gonna say is he's brainwashed. And you need to get brainwashed too. You gonna get rich? That's what we gotta do. You gotta tell the story over and over again. Brandon, you got anything to add?
I'll add as much as you want me to. I don't need to. I can.
Well, tell me what you think about the business.
Well, I love being involved now. I've been running business for about 6 weeks and made a few sales, and learning from Tiffany and Linda and Adam, and this is Linda has a great program that we're learning under, and it's awesome. So it's being set up for success, and Tiffany's a great example with her. She's being very consistent now with her business, and it's inspiring, and I want to follow in those footsteps. Yeah. I've had several. I've had my own business before. I was a pastor for a while, and had owned a fitness center, and kind of with the same with Linda, 2008 and 9, kind of took us out.
We could do the same thing with you.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
I got my bachelor's degree at University of Northern Colorado in psychology, and then I got my MDiv in Concordia Seminary in St. Louis.
Yeah, so that's where you start with. So I did this and this education, and then got married, had a wonderful family, had a tragic accident. As much you just don't elaborate. You had a tragic accident, I lost my wife, I lost my 2 daughters, and good family friends, and I'm just struggling from business to business. If you take 8 minutes or 6 minutes to tell that story, not 27.
No, yeah.
7 minutes in that story, people going like, whoo. And then I met this girl, and she was just getting her life together from Linda, and and then
Yeah. And we met about the exact same time she started getting introduced to the Alliance, and so I've kind of been behind her, watching her through the whole thing. No, it's been wonderful, and I'm thankful. I mean, how could I not fall in love with her? I mean, no, seriously, it's beautiful, and yeah. But this, a little earlier, you said something about dreaming, and Tiffany and I have talked about it a little bit. This has given me an opportunity to dream again, and where I didn't know if that would come about again, And although it's totally different than I ever expected, but this is a great chance, like you said, to provide for our family, our children, and to dream again. It's yeah, exactly, exactly. So, and our kids get along too, so that's cool. So thank you.
Okay, that's a statement. Like, think about this. Like, we're glad they get along, but you understand, it's like I'm trying to tell y'all how I've made so much money is I'm not thinking about me when I'm telling my story. I try my best not to tell you stuff that don't inspire you or don't hammer you. You with me? In other words, I have a limited amount of time to speak. Say something that matters. I've got so many people we've been here for 8 years and we have loved it. And we think it's the greatest company in the world. I'm thinking, what is that? Who told you? Who's coaching you? I just love Jane Albright. She's so pretty. She's nice. Like, I am. So you got pregnant twice, did you? You see what I'm saying? Like, those magazines when you're checking out in the grocery store, we're so happy and we love what we're doing. No. They're divorcing. We've had a child out of wedlock, and this is what, he was cheating on me. Yeah. Oh, he scammed me out of the millions while we were married. It's like, that's what sales. Your story, the good news is your story sells. Your stories are so interesting, and so you're telling it going like, how do I tell them my story in a way that they see that this is the greatest? Is this helping with your recruiting? Yes. Like, it's just you can't get bored with that, and you can't think they're bored with it. I mean, like, we're all riveted. We all got questions. We got questions, don't we? We'll talk later. But see how they want to talk later. But if you tell them how wonderful everything, got any questions? No. Everything's perfect in your life and this business. Right. But when it is like, the other kid, they want to know. It leaves them thinking stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You just got to be thinking, and you can watch them, and you can see if they're glazing over, it ain't working. Yeah, good idea. All right.
You know, just for this weekend, I thought I knew you guys. I don't know these people. I don't know these people. I don't. I mean, it hits. It hits home. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Steve and Andrea Maxim moved down here from Ohio. Go Bucks. Or your Cincinnati Buckeyes. Down here in Sarasota. Moved down here just the last about year and a half here or so. And my wife and I, we've been married for the last 28 years now. It'll be April 17th. We'll celebrate 28 years. We've got 3 kids, Amanda, Max, and Izzy. Amanda was the main reason I think we sort of moved down here. She goes to the University of Tampa, and we've been coming down here so often and everything. So we decided to make the move and move the family down here, so super excited about that. Found the Alliance on a ZipRecruiter ad, and just out of the blue happened to respond to it, and here we are standing there. However, though, take you back just a little bit of time ago, lost my dad when I was 27 years old. So it's sort of interesting how I get involved with this, that my dad came down with leukemia and was diagnosed, and 3 months later he was gone. I remember looking at my mom going, Mom, what are we going to do? I'm 27. We were just married. We had our first kid, and I'm thinking my mom's going to lose her house. What's going to happen on from there? Am I going to take care of her? And from that point, Mom looked at me and said, Steve, we've got it taken care of. Dad had mortgage protection. Dad had final expenses. It changed my life, and I'll never forget that because it really set a trajectory for us and our family in a whole nother way that completely blew us away.
So if you had brand new people, so we had life insurance, mortgage protection life insurance, final expense life insurance, to the tune of how much?
$250,000.
To the tune of $250,000. My mom. I mean.
And from that point, here's what was interesting. So my dad, all right, and this is what I really appreciated about my dad. He was the entrepreneur. He was my mentor in my early stages because I remember I played soccer when I was in high school and college, and it's sort of funny. So my wife is actually from Brazil, all right? And I remember just having this passion for soccer. And so my dad, he started the soccer business when I was in high school. And he did this, and he did it on a shoestring. I remember him looking at me going, I'm going to create this other business over here, and did it on a shoestring, bootstrapped himself up. After college, I got involved with the program. We did that, and then a few years later, he actually had passed away. And he also started another company, which was a property management company that we got involved. So if you guys remember the 2008, all right, well, we were sort of ahead of the curve. My dad was ahead of the curve in the sense that he was getting involved with managing all these properties all across the U.S. and everything, where all these houses were going through defaults. We had all these contracts with banks and everything. And I remember looking at my dad, how he was starting to build this business. And about 6 months into it, he had passed away. And it left me something that I had no clue on how to run. There was no system. There was nothing on there. And from that point forward, I just took the ball and I ran. I was 27. It was myself and my brother. And we just ran with the ball because it was wide open. And what I mean by wide open, no one knew what was going to happen. We did that in 2008. We ran all the way up to 2013. We created other vertical businesses inside our company. Were you making money? Oh, my God, it was hand over fist. We were in the ink. Sorry, yeah.
We didn't know you were making any money. You just knew you were running with the ball.
That ball took us some good places. That ball took us some good places.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These wonderful analogies sound wonderful but are glazing over. We were running with the ball. We made, how much money did you make in a month? We bought a car. Help us get into
Yeah, 2003, when we had the property management company, we took a company from 300,000 into 3 million within a 2-year period. After that, we had even bigger bigger goals on there. We went from 3 million into 10 million, and then we created another second company. We were making money.
Had we met her at this time?
We were together. Well, we were since.
Yeah, I mean, I was managing the house.
Keep in mind, you gotta listen to what I'm saying is, I don't care. You think I care, but I don't. I'm saying, what's the story that we're telling? Listen to me. What's the story we're telling? And I met her. You asked her, does that make sense? Like, so when do we meet her along the way? And don't start back over again. Like, where did we meet her?
Met her in high school.
So you've been dating. So we left her out in the beginning.
We did. Sorry.
Oh,
I know. I gotta work on it.
2018.
So, don't want to start all the way back over, but 80.
Okay, when y'all get married?
1993.
So 86. What was you gonna say? She was an exchange student. That's David, though. Nice tidbit.
Oh, now I got the mic.
Oh my God. The tangled webs we weave. Hey, so the business, did you keep making money? Did you keep making money?
No,
What happened?
slowed down. About 2013.
2013,
Everything
everything started changing.
started to change.
And when did you find this business?
Way back in 2000.
This business.
Oh, this business? 2019. 2019.
13 to 19.
Yep.
Life changed.
Life changed. Life started to change.
See, you got to think about this thing.
Yeah.
It's like when we do the 17 most emotional, what's the most emotional that we got to hit? And we get to the part where our life's changed and we're dreaming again quickly.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to go on and on with y'all, but we gotta move on. I took a lot of time beating these guys up, but tell us a little bit more about the Brazilian. And,
Brazilian? Well, I was an exchange student with the Rotary program 1999, 89, 88, something like that. And I met him in high school, and then his family became my host family, and then his brother went and lived in Brazil with my family.
Really?
Yes, but my entire family are still in Brazil. I'm the only crazy one in America, but I mean, it's hard being away from family, but we've, we have the 3 kids, and we've been married for a long time through the ups and downs. We had quite a few of downs.
Were y'all dating in high school at all?
I mean, I went back to Brazil, and then I finally came back when he was in college. Well, we went to prom, but not really dating. But I did go back to Brazil and then came back to America.
Marcy, you ready?
But somehow, it was destiny, I guess. So here we are.
So how long y'all been like a thing, the dating?
Since when did you graduate? I mean, that was
like
Since
90.
high school.
Yeah, since high school.
college.
So since college.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Steady since college.
Oh yeah.
And then married.
In 93.
So y'all been married.
So 27 going on 28.
Wow. Do we have more questions for these people for later?
I do.
All right, guys. Cats team, we love y'all. We're proud of y'all. That's good stuff. We know more about. But see, it's not the 17 most emotional. It's the story. It's the story that people should be telling. Yeah, it may not be as interesting, Chris, but tell them how we're gonna make. Tell them how we're gonna make money with BAM.
We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. You want to go back through yesterday since you got a bunch of cats?
Yeah, that's
people?
exactly what I was thinking because I missed it too. I had to step out for some reason. I was like, I missed that.
Okay. Well, I can go back through a bunch of stuff from yesterday. I'm going to bring up a couple of things. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll give you that password, and we'll go through that. So All right, so I'm going to go back to some of the slides from yesterday. So, good morning. I'm Chris Norris. I run Burlington Alliance Capital Management for the. So that is BAM. Thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit more about our competitive advantage. We did talk yesterday. Billy's going to bring some things up for us, and I said I would provide a little bit more illustrations. We'll see what we can get through technology-wise here. You know, we talked yesterday on recruiting a lot as far as recruiting advisors, but we talked a lot about expenses and kind of how we're different than what you guys see in the marketplace when you're talking about, you know, when you guys go and see proposals. I know, Adam, you sent me some things this morning from other clients. But when you guys run into houses and you find an Edward Jones statement or you find a Raymond James or a Wells Fargo and you're looking for how are we better, you know, how do we compete and where do we see things. So Linda, I know you find those things all the time. One of the things that we kind of look at is, you know, what are they paying now? You know, how do we look for those things? And where you really see those things are the expenses that they're paying in the house and the fees and how we break those down. And so there's a lot of analysis that we can do within that, and I'm going to show you some of the ways that we can do that. We talked about it yesterday. And we're good. So we have a lot of different software and tools that we use. You don't need to know all those things. What you basically do when you send that, we will send you guys basically proposals that we actually break all that stuff down for you guys. But one of the keys that I think is important for you guys is there's a lot of different, what I would say, hidden fees that are out there. And we talked about this yesterday, so it's for you guys that were here yesterday, it may be repetitive, but I think it's good to hear. Yeah. So, you know, in the marketplace, we talked about, you know, you deal with brokers that are out there, and there's commission-based fees that are out there, and then there's advisory fees that are out there. So you're going to see two different sides in the marketplace. So you're going to see, you know, commission-based sides, which you'll see a percentage of fees that come out on the front end, and then you'll see advisory fees that come out. So two different sides, and we kind of talked about that. What you traditionally see is where they're charging a flat fee on a monthly basis, right? And the Raymond James, the Edward James, or Edward Jones, they're typically in that fee-based space where they're saying, hey, we're charging you 1% or things of that nature. 1.1%, 1.25. What they don't typically include in that is their mutual fund fees. And when you start adding all of those numbers up, typically what you see is those funds had to be 2.25%, 3% total fees. The difference when you see that and where we're at in our independent space is we're half the number of those costs. And we can show that to the clients. I want you to just go to emoney.com, and then I'll give you my login. Yeah, go to emoney.com. I'll give you my login, and there'll be an upper right-hand corner. It'll show you how to log in. That is not eMoney. Yeah, hang on. I don't know where that took you. That's not that took you to. Yeah, it did, but I don't know what it took you to. Hang on. Go to emoneyadvisor.com. Right here? Yeah, go to that one. Yeah, go to that one for me. Yeah, and then should look like this screen right here. Yeah. That's what I want to bring up is eMoney. Should look like that screen right there. Yeah, should be emoneyadvisor.com. Take out the. Yeah, I don't know why it's bringing that one. Advisor. Yep, emoneyadvisor.com. Yeah, go there. Sorry guys, I can't quite do certain things. All right, so my login is going to be my first name, capital C, Christopher. And then Norris, capital capital N. And then my password is just type it. You can do it. Capital B.
This is being streamed. You type it.
Oh yeah. Hold that for me.
I'll be your desk.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So, couple of tools that we've got that you guys can use, kind of moving forward, and this is one of the new integrations that we've got. But when we go and we meet clients, and I'm going to show you guys one of the things that we can do. And again, Andy's seen this functionality, so I know he likes this. But from a competitive advantage, like I said, we're normally about half of the cost from a standard Edward Jones, Raymond James broker's house, you know, and that is, and I showed a PowerPoint yesterday, and I'll bring that back up here in just a minute, so the new guys that are in the room can see that. But this platform is phenomenal when you're dealing with anybody that's got assets. One of the things that I like in here is you can show a client this platform. We can actually build a financial plan and build them their own wealth management internet access. It's portable. So basically, it's a portal. So we can actually put them a plan, send them their own website. So if you've got a client that we want to work with or that you want to work with, they can actually we can send them just with their name and website or email address, we can send them an invitation. They can actually go in and build out and link in their bank information, their Fidelity accounts. They can go in and put everything in there, and it will let them manage their own account. We don't necessarily have to have their information. They can do it themselves. So they can start doing that and build leads and build their own account. And it actually would let them start doing planning themselves. And then if they want us to come in and do things, or if they want you to come in and do things, they've already got it built up within that. But it builds them a secure site to start gathering their own information. So again,
Chris, each one of these guys, Chris Long's going to have his own account, but manage.
we can actually go in here, and I've got to sit down and do a couple of things. So we can actually go in from here. I need a mouse.
Chris can fill out his, and Chris.
Yeah, we can go in here, and
Chris Hill can set his up for his wife.
Yeah, I think I do it off the touch screen. Yep, so I can go in here and go to the touch screen's going to work for me. It takes a second. Yes, he can go in here. I can hit add client. Press it lightly. There you go. Hey, yes. So I can do that. I can type in Chris Long's name, put his email. I don't even have to have his date of birth. Put his email in. It'll shoot it to him.
And then I can start customizing.
And he can just go in and put all his information in.
And you have that information.
No, I really
can't see it.
I can't see it.
Yes, that's the value of this. So it's like to be private.
It's private.
Don't see it.
I can't see it. And then if they want to actually give us access, we can actually go in and then go in and get access after that. But it's a step. It's a step. That's exactly right.
You got a 401, you got something from an old job business, 401k or IRA or
But it's a step.
anything like that, you can move your stuff into it.
So, but yeah,
So what would we tell our
So-
clients this is? Like, what would we call this? Like,
it's
would you like
would you like a place to keep all your personal data for you to start doing your own financial plan yourself? A place to gather your information. Now here's the cool part. So for us, here's the angle for us, for you guys. So one of the cool things is, so we can go in and we can send, once we have these data, and I'm hoping the video will play. It may not be blocked. Let me love tap it. Yeah, I know. Ah, there we go. You can send this video to these leads that come to us. So if you send a client to us, we can go into the content.
You have access to their stuff, but you do have their email.
Correct. And now we can send all this stuff out to these clients. It's personalized. It has our logo on it, and we can actually send this content out. So we actually have a ton of data that's in this. Yeah, it's a financial planning tool. So I'm gonna stop it. I mean, but it's got a lot of cool. It's got annuity data in here. It's got life insurance data in here. I'm gonna stop it because for Chris, one of the reasons I wanted to show it was, let me go back in here. Let me go back to the top because there was one that was really cool that I thought was. Come on. Yeah, I know. It's really content library that I thought you might be interested in, which was teachers. Teachers for the folks that are in the para market. So there is just a ton of marketing data within this. But this is a full financial planning bundle within this. Oh, this, I mean,
You have the videos, but you also have the planning tools.
I mean, this is planning tools. I mean, so nobody, are we streaming?